was hit.
Federal ATF agents say they're working a case with authorities in Sevierville tied to pipe bombs. 27-year-old Zachary Cushman and 42-year-old Kenneth Barnett are charged with possessing prohibited weapons and possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. Federal agents tell 10 News one part of the investigation is creating a timeline leading up to the arrest of those suspects Friday night. An officer with Sevierville police pulled over a Dodge Neon driven by those men at a gas station on Boyd's Creek Highway. A search of that car turned up 2 handguns and 3 pipe bombs.
All right, let's take a look at your